TRUTALK, a podcast from TruLane Equipment, where community, farming, and John Deere technology collide.
What's new in agriculture? What's happening in your neighborhood? And most importantly, who are the people that make it all happen?
TRUTALK, cultivating true conversations.
Welcome back to the TRUTALK podcast. We got a special episode going on today. Special because you can tell because I'm doing the intro. Josh, our regular co-host, is out on this podcast. We have 3 special guests, so we only had room for me to be on. We are talking with some technicians here at the Bluffton store today. We want to kind of cover the life of a technician and also highlight some of the JDU tech programs that we have available. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our technicians to introduce themselves. I'm going to start with the technician on my left, Mr. Joe.
Joe Albach. Been here at the dealership for 30 years.
And what have you been doing in those 30 years that you've been here?
So started out, in 95 and kind of was in the setup shop and then kind of transitioned to the road service and been doing that ever since. So at this point, transitioning into a shop foreman in the last first year. So we're working on that.
There you go. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then we'll go to his left.
I'm Ethan Ish. I just graduated Owens about a year ago, and I'm in a service truck.
Yeah, so service technician, travel tech.
For right about a year now.
And just for reference, when did you graduate? Say high school?
Yep. So when I graduated high school in 2023, I went to Owens the following year.
Gotcha. Perfect. And then to his left, our final technician.
My name is James Springer. I am a John Deere tech student. This is for my second year.
Yeah, second year at the tech program, right?
Yeah, second year of the tech program.
Okay, perfect. And you graduated high school?
2025.
25, okay. That's the first thing I wanted to go ahead and jump into was talking about our tech program, right? So I'm going to focus back on you, James. So you're currently in the tech program, right? And you started as soon as you graduated high school, right?
Yes, I did.
So what was the thing that pulled you into the tech program? Like why was that something you wanted to pursue, or what made that a good opportunity for you to look at?
I guess starting back into my senior year, I was looking for an ICE program to start, and I had 2 choices in mind. I was either going to go up to a on-road truck shop, or my second choice was here.
Okay.
It didn't go through up at the truck shop, so I ended up coming down to here for my...
So we were your second option?
Yeah, because the main reason was because I always liked agriculture and the equipment they had, but I really never grew up row crop farming, basically. Right. And I'm like, man, there's a lot of stuff you got to know, from planters and combines and even sprayers too. And I'm like, oh, that's just
too much.
I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
So I chose this as my second option. And then when I started here, I was kind of amazed about what's going on. And I was like, man, can I even do this? And then they offered the tech program. So I went through the tech program, and here I am. And
that's a really cool too, because I was curious. I didn't actually know this until we started, whether you had a background in farming or not, right?
Yeah, we always just baled enough hay really for what animals we had around our house. So we always had a few cows, and then we did pigs for a little bit, and then goats too. So
you weren't totally unfamiliar, but like you said, row cropping was
row cropping
new
was
to you.
Yeah, it was kind of out of the picture for me.
Yeah, okay. Small bales, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you do what I call idiot cubes, like I do at home.
Yeah.
So now, Ethan, I want to talk to you because you've been through the tech program, but I want to ask kind of that same question, like, why was that something that you wanted to pursue? What made that an attractive option for you?
So in 2020, I think it was actually 2022, Bob Mahler had talked to me a little bit. I go to church with Bob, and I grew up, we have a small row crop farm operation at home. So I'd been around equipment my whole life, but on the smaller scale, not really of anything like what we do here. But my dad worked for Callister Machinery, and he was in a service truck for a lot of years. So I had seen kind of the working on equipment aspect at home, and we worked on a lot of equipment out of our shop at home too, and just our stuff, but knew I liked doing it. And then that's when Bob talked to me and came in here, kind of walked around, and then right after high school joined. It was actually TTG at the time, but started working here with, and then signed on for the tech program.
Yeah. So you both, whether it was, you had a farming background, direct link to it or not, you both were looking at something hands-on technical, right, though? That was always something you guys wanted to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then circling all the way back around to Joe, the JDU Tech program really wasn't an option at the time that you started, correct?
Yes. I think Vincennes had a program, but it was not well known, I don't think, at the time. But actually, I went to UNO, which they call today, at Lima, Ohio. So we did the automotive and diesel tech program. Kind of like the two others here talking about background a little bit. We've, always grew up on the farm, had about 1,000 acres that we did. And today, brother and I are still at it. So
how do you make that balance work? I've always wondered about that because it seems like a good portion of the technicians I know also farm at home, and I'm like, you guys are on the road all the time. How do you get time to come home and farm?
It's pretty tough, keeping it all together. You gotta pace yourself throughout the year to do, in my area is try to keep things repaired, at that time, through the winter and through the summer months as far as when harvest comes around. But it's trying, a lot of hours
for sure. Farming's always a lot of hours though, right? That's just the nature of the beast.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but it seems like anymore bigger equipment, spring and fall. It usually, if weather works good, we get done pretty quick.
I was gonna say everyone's always super stressed in the spring. About trying to get in and get out. Same thing in the fall. Get in and get out.
Right.
And we have this window. We got to get it done. And I'm like, it's going to take you a week.
Right.
For most guys, they can bust it out because our equipment's so much more efficient.
So I agree. Harvest is a little bit longer because guys know they're not pushing that time envelope.
Yep.
As far as getting the seeds planted, so you can they do push the weather. So
for sure.
So it's tough balancing that in a family.
Yeah,
make it work.
You make it work. Well, obviously, so like you said, over 30 years. So
yes,
you've been doing something right. It sounds like.
Yes.
So I want to circle back around, and it's cool because again, I didn't really know that you actually went to UNO, which will be cool to try and compare and contrast. Because I want to ask our two JDU techs, what the program's like for those who aren't familiar with it or maybe interested in it. Can you kind of give us a breakdown on how it works and the ins and the outs and what like a day-to-day looks like? And feel free, whoever wants to jump in.
Well, James is in the in and outs right now.
Okay. So as of right now, I am this will be my third semester. It's during the summer. So we only have one primary deer class this semester, which is my engines class. And in there, we're just tearing apart the engine all the way down to our bare blocks, pulling apart pistons, like take out your wrist pins and all that stuff. And then you got to go through all the tedious stuff like measuring everything, which
call that details.
Yes, important. Yeah.
Yep. So we're slowly working through that this semester. And then because it's you get an associate's degree out of the program, you got to take all the gen ed classes too.
Okay.
So I got to take, as of now, I'm in a composition 1 class. I got to take a speech class and then a mathematics class.
So you're in class right now, right? How long is the actual program? Is it a 2-year program?
So the program is 2 years, but you're only in school for 8 weeks at a time. So you'll switch 8 weeks in school, and then you come back to the dealership for, they say 8 weeks, but you come back for about 10.
Yeah, I think the lowest one I had was maybe 9 to 10 weeks. They got to kind of account for the school breaks too, so it makes it pretty nice. You get a nice little break from homework.
Yeah, and it's flexible, right? It's not always the same rigid whatever. You kind of have a little bit of freedom with it, right? Is what it sounds like. Because, I mean, the reason why this worked out so well, too, is because James is in class, and so he actually goes to school 4 days a week, right?
Yep, 4 days.
Is that for all the class time? It's only 4 days, Monday through Thursday?
Yes.
Every semester is 4 days.
Gotcha. And that gives you the opportunity to come back and work again on Friday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, which is kind of nice. So, you hit on the whole rotation, which I think is nice. Instead of just trying to plow through a bunch of 2 years of school curriculum, you get that hands-on part still to mix in, right? So I guess, Joe, if you want to kind of compare and contrast a little bit to what they said the JDU Tech program's like,
With the UNO program, it was a 2-year program I went with. It was a 4-day class, got Fridays off. It was an auto and diesel tech program, so there was no ag at that time. So it was good. You got the basics. You got the knowledge that you needed to get everything started. So, So what I did is they would let you go 4 hours for them 4 days, or if you got good grades above a B, then you can double up and you can do an 8-hour course. So then you can cut your time in half. Yeah. So it worked out really well because at one point I did take an elective class. It was from like 8 in the evening till midnight. What? And then,
till midnight?
It was an elective class I did. So
what do you remember what class that was?
It was advanced electrical, I think it was.
Okay.
So it was kind of nice because we had to time change from Indiana and Ohio, so it only took me a half an hour to get home.
You're aging yourself because I remember my parents talking about how they'd have to cross state line and they'd have to remember to change their clocks because it was that hour difference still.
That'd have been nice.
Yeah.
So I could be home. I can leave at midnight and be home at 12:30, and it was just great. And I'd take my Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we was on our way again. So
there you go.
So it was a good school. The ag program, like I said, wasn't in thoughts at that time. So
yeah, I was gonna say because so you said it was auto and diesel, so it didn't necessarily pertain directly to John Deere like your guys' program does now, right? So they've specifically your tech classes focus on John Deere equipment, right?
Yeah. So you go in and you have a parts advisor section, you got service advisor. They kind of go through service advisor is kind of phasing out. I'm sure they'll update that to service center, but
right.
Yeah, they do a good job of showing you the ropes kind of on each. They'll test you, and you even get credit through John Deere. So you'll leave college, I think a level 2 tech, but you're basically, I think there's 2 or 3 classes you have to take outside of tech school, and you're a level 3.
Gotcha.
But they set you up pretty good.
Yeah. Right. And it's the equipment side too, right? They're teaching you specifically on how to set up and run and repair equipment, right?
Yeah, for the most part, they do a pretty good job of trying to get equipment in, but they rely on surrounding dealers to give them equipment to work on it. So it could change year to year. I know my grade, I don't think we had an X9, but I think you guys did.
Yeah, so like he just said, his didn't have an X9. We had an X9, and then we had I think it was a 780 in the shop, but we had no bean or corn heads to come with it. So we ended up having to source an old corn head out of a fence row from one of the professors up there.
Okay.
So we ended up tearing apart all those gearboxes and the corn head and rebuilding those.
Those skills still more or less translate to what we currently have, right? I mean, they've made changes, improvements, enhancements, but it's not completely different, right?
The base of what we have now originated there, so.
Yeah, exactly. Curious, you said professors up there, so what kind of background, and that'd go for you too, Joe, what kind of background did the professors or the teachers or the classes actually have?
So the head instructor up at Owens Farms and was in a service truck for a couple dealers. I think 2, it might have been more than that, but he's a service manager too. He's a really knowledgeable guy. And then the hydraulics teacher, same way, worked at the dealer, farms at home. Heath farms at home too. Had the main instructor, big pulling tractor guy.
Really?
Everybody, it's all the instructors up there are pretty easy to get along with.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of comes from the same background.
Cut from the same mold. They know what you're going through because they went through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then Joe,
yeah, it's been 30 plus years since I've done that.
You've got great memory. Come on.
Yeah, I got great memory. I guess the teachers that were there, I remember the fuels teacher was Mr. Sargent. He was an older fella. I think he worked in the workforce for many years, and he decided to, come to the teaching class and share his knowledge. But a lot of the teachers, they had worked in the workforce. Now, what that was, I can't remember. So I know some of the teachers were in the military, and they had retired out of the military and doing this as a pastime, if you will.
Sure.
But, they had a good group of teachers over there.
And UNO is still a program today, but you said they added agriculture?
They added agriculture. They had a high performance class. Maybe some of these younger techs here could allude on that a little bit.
So whenever I was kind of picking out colleges, I picked UNO as one. And when I went up there, I was kind of interested in more on the ag side somewhat.
Yeah.
So if you took the ag side, it was just a general equipment ag side. So you'd go through probably like all the different brands of tractors.
Yep.
But to get a diesel class, you'd have to go through the truck side to get your diesel certificates.
Okay. Interesting. But that was some sort of option I'm sure they offered, right? Yeah. Okay. So I'm kind of curious if you all want to kind of walk me through like what a day, and Joe, that might be a bit harder for you to remember, what a day in like tech school was like. Like if, from beginning of the day to the end of the day, what did it look like? I know you guys have, the rotation where you were in class, out of class. So maybe you give me a mismatch or a mashup of that, but just kind of talk about that and or like one of your favorite things about being in the tech school.
As of right now, when I'm in class, usually my day starts around 8.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be our first class, and I'd go to my engines class for about, I think it's a 4-hour class. So that puts us up to about noon.
Okay.
And that's just basically tearing our engines apart. And right now we're just doing our precise detailed measurements.
Yeah.
And then I think the last 2 weeks is when we'll start putting them back together. And then your final grade is making sure it doesn't blow up, and hopefully you put it together correct.
Putting it on the dyno and make sure it tests good, right?
Yeah, yep. And then they give us about an hour lunch break before our second class, and then around 1 o'clock I go to our mathematics class, and we sit there for about 3 hours.
Math for 3 hours?
Yeah, it gets kind of boring.
Ethan shaking his head.
I'm done with it. So that's the nice thing to sit on this side of it.
Yeah.
Just sit here, and he comes back every Friday. He's like, "You won't believe it." I was like, "Yep, I would."
I would believe it. Yeah, yeah. So was it kind of the same, more or less the same breakdown, same hours?
And then I don't know if you guys have one right now, but I don't think we had one in the summer. But sometimes you have a night class, so they give you an hour and a half for lunch or for dinner, and then you'll go back for a night. I know we had welding as like a night class.
Yeah.
Which normally the instructors are pretty good about if you stay the full time for your Tuesday class, they'll let you out a little early on Thursday, so the guys that are driving 2+ hours home can make it home in decent time.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. I never really thought about how does that work? Do you guys just commute back and forth, or is there people that will stay up there for classes, or
They got pretty good apartments.
The college has no campus living, so you got to go off of another apartment complex, and most of the John Deere and CAT students, because they also run a CAT program up there, we house at the Owens Lake Commons.
Okay.
Which they're not affiliated, but they share the same name. Which is
basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll go up there, and right now I'm living with a room of, there's 5 people in my apartment, including me, and we just get to know each other pretty well.
We had 2 kids from Van Wert. Our room started off as all TruLand by the end of it. But everybody got along with each other.
Sure. Yeah. And Joe, was that the same thing? There was an opportunity to live up there, or did you commute?
Yeah. Well, the 4 days I stayed, I did stay on campus. They had on-campus housing. Don't know what the arrangements are now. It's been 30+ years since I've been back.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, we stayed on campus. There was, I think we had 4 of us in one apartment room, depending on how it played out. So, yeah, we had a lot of kids that were in the program. Automotive and diesel brought a lot of from different states. West Virginia, I think, was one of them, Michigan.
Oh,
They had a lot of kids that were coming around from sourcing out.
That's crazy.
A couple states away or whatever like that.
Right.
So we had a good time. There are some kids that like being there, and there's some that couldn't cut it. You got to be interested in it to do it.
Sure.
So
for sure.
So
speaking of being interested in it, what's been or what is your guys' favorite class or subject or topic that you guys covered? Right. So James, it's a little unfair to you because you haven't seen everything quite yet, but up to this point, what's been your favorite thing or the thing that you've gotten into the most, especially for you since large ag was never really in your wheelhouse of stuff. So a lot of it's like new. You're getting to see it for the first time up close.
Yeah, so I'd say my favorite part was really rebuilding engines. I really do enjoy that, but also I found it fun in the hydraulics class too, rebuilding hydraulic pumps and doing SCVs, and then also cylinders. I do really enjoy the hydraulic side of things as well.
So some of that detailed work you're talking about, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the things that you got to make sure that seal's on and that valve is just right.
It's all in the details, right, Joe?
That's right.
Yeah, practice what you preach, right?
That's right.
Ethan, what was your favorite class?
I don't really know. We kind of went through all the guidance stuff. We had that as a night class. That was a lot of fun. And I really liked the planners class. Those are probably my two. The engines class was fun. I'd say those are top three.
Yeah. So planners are one of your favorite things. So springtime's a big.
I would say I like the class just because I learned a lot. We have a 7,012 row planner, so it's all finger picked. Like we have the most bone stock planner at home.
Hey, don't worry, I do too at home.
And it was good to learn. It was just kind of good to get eyes and hands on what everybody else is running.
Electric drives and variable rate. And, yep, for sure.
So yeah, for me, I guess starting out, I mean, I kind of got into the electrical part of it, diagnosing and understanding how that works. So I always liked a good challenge. Today, the challenges are getting bigger.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, you pull up a wiring diagram anymore, and you need like 3 screens to see the whole thing, right?
Exactly. So the thing I could say about it is, if you know the basics of the electrical and how it works, you can kind of stem off that, part of it. Hydraulics wasn't my strong suit, and I learned that over the years. And it still amazes me how they make hydraulic flow in a transmission. Last week or so, we've been working on one with one of the techs in the shop, and we finally got it figured out. A lot of it is just trying to figure out how things work and having a challenge at it. So
yeah, well, I'd say that's probably a common goal with most technicians. That's why you guys are in it, right? It's a problem solving thing. At the end of the day, even despite how hard it might be, you'll get it figured out. It'll get done. At least that's what I tell myself to get through some of the stuff where I'm trying to pull my hair out.
So to add to that, I know the young guys coming in, you always got a backup plan. We got guys in the shop, or we got our IT guy, or not our IT guys, but our internal DTAC guys in our dealership that will help out. So it's a deal where you're not going to be left hanging.
Right.
So,
yeah. Got a support system, a foundation built up for it, right?
Right.
The other thing I wanted to talk about before we got off of the JDU program is kind of how that deal is offered, right? So our 2 JDU techs, there's like an incentive, I guess I'll call it, that TruLand gives to you guys or affords you guys. You guys want to talk a little bit about that?
You have to have above a 2.0 GPA in order to get John Deere's. They offer like a $1,000 scholarship per semester you go to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then after school, I think the payback's like, I want to say $9,000. It's advertised as a 3-year, but you have to wait until the following December. So it's really like a 3.5 year.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. They're just trying to make sure you go through school and you finish and
stay with the company.
Yeah, stay with the company. But
don't you guys get a tool allowance?
Yeah,
too?
I was just about ready to say
sorry,
that.
James.
So first, whenever you're part of the John Deere program, you got the base tool price, and I think it's 25% lower than the base tool price.
Okay.
And then, so Owens Community College also partners with Snap-on. And with Snap-on, you can get up to 18, is it 15? I think it's $15,000 of 50% off on tools. So like if you pay, you say you buy something for $2,000, or it's $4,000, you only got to pay $2,000 of that.
Yeah.
But you only have 15,000 of, what is it, full price tools?
Yeah.
I think that's how it works.
Yeah, so if you max out everything through their Snap-on discount, you get, technically you would have spent $30,000.
Right,
but like on a tool truck.
But you saved that instead. Have you guys maxed out yet?
Yeah, I think I had $4 left I could spend, and a pocket screwdriver was like $6. So I couldn't use anymore.
Yeah. James, you not there yet?
I'm about halfway right now.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a great deal. 50% off, right? Is basically what it is.
Yeah.
Up to a certain point.
The Deere stuff's about just as, I really liked that too. But once you graduate, you lose it. So it's definitely use it while you can.
Okay, so you don't have it while, okay. No. Gotcha. Yeah. Fair enough. So I guess coming out of the program, or when you're not in class and you're actually working here at the shop, you want to kind of talk about the day in the life of a technician at a TruLand store?
Follow Joe around.
Follow Joe around? Why is that?
No, you got to learn.
Yeah, I've been through a lot of stuff. In '95, the 9,000 series combines were coming out, the 8,000 series tractors were coming out. So technology was really starting out, and Green Star was a big thing, kind of, but it really stemmed off of that. So, but yeah, it's where it is today. It is twofold more than what it was back then. So it's.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the electrical systems and the technology is the thing that people point to first the most. But I think mechanically we've become more advanced. Obviously, the hydraulic systems, the engines, whatever after treatment stuff like that's become more complicated itself, right?
Right. So to answer your question, what's the life of a technician? You'd start out and I know when Bob Mueller was the service manager, he'd always say to have an opportunity for you. So he's like, well, what do you got here?
That would scare me, I think.
Yeah, it scared a lot of guys, So it was a deal where it was a new piece of equipment. You went out and you figured it out. We have some training on that, continuing education here at the dealership. So we're always keeping up on it. But a lot of times, if we don't figure it out, we have our backup guys, our internal help line, that way that we can move forward on projects that we're stumped on. So, but you'd be safe to say, we talk to each other throughout the dealerships.
Yeah, I call Joe at least 4 times a week, probably.
Right.
For 45 plus minutes. But
right. So we look at it at 2 different angles or more, looking in the tech manual with Ethan or James or anybody in the shop. We actually get some different ideas between us, however it is. So hopefully with the shop foreman position I have now, I kind of help the younger guys and hopefully pass that torch on, right?
I think that shop foreman is becoming almost like it's as important as the service manager, right?
It is. I know service manager Brady is in there now. He struggled in the technical side of things because he didn't see a lot of the 4430s or 8400. He did a lot of his job was being an applicator in a ASP service provider.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew all the customers. He knew the
like the ins and the
outs of that, spraying and spreading fertilizer and repairing that field. But as far as on the ag side, as a grower, he didn't know that. So hopefully, with that being in the office with Brady, it's been a real help for him. So it's been good.
Yeah.
It's been good. So
yeah, and then like Ethan and James, I mean, day in your life.
It just kind of depends on the day. I say even weeks. This week we've kind of toned down just because everybody kind of has everything in the ground now. But
finally, after like a 2-month planning,
it was rough. But during something like that, normally you kind of know where you're going. Like you're getting to the shop, grabbing parts, and leaving again. But this time, as we kind of roll into the summer months, we know we're going to kind of come back to the shop, maybe do a couple inspections. It just kind of varies on the day. But I'd say this time of year, a lot of inspections, and then guys are putting on 28 or.
Mm-hmm.
Like we still have some tractors out there running, so we still have the occasional service call, or the guys that broke stuff and just kind of mended it through the season are now calling us.
Farmer fixed it?
Yeah.
For me, so still being a tech student or not fully qualified as a tech yet, I guess most of my days whenever I'm here for my 8 weeks, like back at full time, I'm either assisting a tech working on equipment on their bigger projects, like I helped a guy do a head sealant, head gaskets and that sort of stuff. And then,
I think I saw you working on that the one day. I was kind of meandering through the shop doing something else and saw you pulling heads off of a tractor.
Yeah, and then I've helped a few guys split a few tractors throughout. But most of the time for me, it's helping someone out or going on the road too. I always enjoy going on service calls with other guys because you're kind of in the moment with them and you got to figure out the problem to keep that farmer rolling.
Yeah. So do you think you'd prefer being a shop tech or a road tech?
I'd hope in the future I'd become a road tech.
That's interesting. I'd say most of the time you have a hard time. Well, maybe not. I don't know, Joe. What's that like being a road tech? You were a road tech.
Road tech for many years. Yeah, it's been good. You're kind of your own boss per se.
Yeah.
You got your schedule that the office gives you. you can go out one-on-one with the grower and get his problem solved. So it was good. A lot of long days. Early mornings if you start out. You got to get the guy going. So I can't say any. As far as the farmers themselves, they're a good group of people to work for.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a lot of it for me. Being there for the farmer and trying to make his product work or whatever the case may be. Getting a solution to the problem. So
for sure.
I mean, for me, probably just learning, like, even just simple stuff like if you're going on 5 jobs that day, you got to make sure you have you got to just make sure you check all your boxes before you leave, make sure you got all your parts organized, and just kind of learning that once you get out there, you're out there. Yeah, and I mean, you could run in. We've went out to places and fixed something, but while you're there, the guy might have 2 more things for you to look at, and you kind of have to just go into it with an open mind and
be able to adapt. Yeah. I'm no road tech. I'm no technician, I would say, either, right? Being in precision ag, but we do a lot of farm visit, customer visits, and it's always, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's, hey, I called you out for this, and then they say, well, while you're here, you get that a lot as a road tech, I imagine.
Yeah, but I guess that's how we make money, so you kind of like to hear that. You're just like, oh, I'm here, might as well get it done.
Sure, right. We talked about your favorite thing while you guys were in school, but now, like, what's your favorite thing as you're a technician working at the store, whether it's how we do something, whether it's something that you get to do in your day-to-day, just like, what's your favorite thing about being a technician?
I guess my favorite thing as being a technician is being able to challenge yourself about every project you get. I like being able to push yourself every single job you can get, because it allows you to grow, learn more every day. With new equipment and new technologies coming out, you're always going to have to keep on learning, and then there's going to be new problems to solve. But that's what I like most about being a technician too.
It's the same stuff but different.
Yeah, yep.
I'd say just seeing something different every day for the most part. Unless you're doing, like, once we get into this, like, combine inspection season, it kind of gets kind of tedious, but you just kind of get through it.
Well, what makes it so tedious? Just because there's a lot of things to check and.
No, it's just combine after combine.
So you're telling me combines aren't your favorite?
No, they're down on the list.
Yeah,
down on the list.
Down on the list. Joe?
I guess the thing I liked about it was done something different every day. It wasn't repetitious. I mean, one day you may be changing a fan drive belt, and the next day you may be changing an alternator in the field. You're not necessarily tearing an engine down in the field, but
right.
So yeah, it kept things rolling in a different pace every day. So yeah, and then all the technicians in the shop has always been good, being fellowship that way and learning through everybody, so.
I mean, that's one of my favorite things to do, even though I know we're always supposed to be productive and doing something. One of my favorite things to do is just kind of meander through the shop and chat with everyone and see what everyone's up to, I mean, a lot of times I get called back to the shop to say, hey, something software, something display related, right? But then I always try and get back there so that way I can see the mechanical side of things too, right? Because I get those phone calls where that mechanical side's crossed over into their precision ag side.
Right.
So I like getting back there, and like you said, the camaraderie, all the techs kind of talking, and like you said, bouncing ideas off each other too. So it's a big, like, think tank.
Right. So being older, being in the shop, I see the younger techs, expanding. Just like James said, he's interested in doing something new all the time, and I just like to see newer techs come in and excel. That way we can keep this dealership rolling as a whole. So it's tough to bring young guys in. It's just not like working on cars. A lot of cars out there, a lot of dealerships. There's not a lot of dealerships as far as John Deere that are on every corner of the street. So it's hard to get our younger guys interested, and I'm glad that James and Ethan has, because we got a little bit of a background in it. So
it's refreshing seeing techs this young, right?
Right.
Even though when you show up at a farmer's place, I know a technician, they want to see a technician that's quote unquote experienced. I mean, you've probably ran into that some, Ethan.
We went down and worked on a Haggie the other day. That was a couple weeks ago. And I walked in and they go, well, you're not Joe.
I get that a lot.
How do you handle that though? Like, what do you tell them?
I was like, yep, I'm just a younger version of Joe. So they're like, all right, we'll call you Little Joe.
Oh, there you go. So you already have a nickname, Little Joe. Is that what I should be calling you instead of Ethan?
No. And that's good. On my end, that's good because I've made a face over the years. So hopefully we can transition and let these guys, they got to learn it.
Yeah, it's got to happen.
We got to get our customers comfortable with it because this is our new generation coming on. So So
speaking of the next generation, new generation, what kind of advice, Joe, would you have for say like Ethan or James or just any kind of technician, whether it's at the TruLane store or someone that's looking to get into it and trying to be, successful in it? One thing that you would say, watch out for. I learned this through my experiences, or like try and do this because this will set you up for success.
I mean, you gotta like it to do the job. Is the first thing. So, if you got a background in it, you got the knowledge of knowing what the farmer's trying to do. Mm-hmm. So, if you don't know what a plow is and which way it runs, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So you gotta have some interest in it to move forward with it. So, but yeah, just keep up on the technology, the schooling. It's never ending. I know that. So
yeah,
still learning today after 30 plus years. Mm-hmm. There's something new all the time, and we lean on the younger generation to take the torch and take off with it. You know. So I guess if you can't figure something out one day, call the day done and come back the next day, and you may have a different angle at it. So. I've done that a lot too. You just got to stand back and look at it at a different angle. So
that's something my dad for sure has always said. After getting frustrated and trying to pull your hair out, trying to figure something out on the farm, he goes, I know we want to get it done today, but it's just not going to be. So let's take a pause and come back because you get a fresh perspective. So
even that perspective, like if you're stumped on something and you call, like I've called Joe or somebody else in the shop and they've been like, well, have you checked this? It'd be like that wasn't even on the order.
Right.
Somebody calls you and they're like, well, I've went through the display and done this, and this. Mm-hmm. But they're like, well, did you calibrate this? And they're like, oh. And then they'll call you back and be like, it worked. It's just different angle.
Those moments are, I don't know. Sometimes
you probably have a lot of those.
yeah. I was gonna say, and I don't know how to feel about that because it's great that we got it figured out, but you're like, come on, how did I not think about that? But it's just, there's so many different things to keep track of, and that's why it's really nice to have the support system that we do. Because I love talking to different guys from different stores too. Right. Not saying that that people at the the Bluffton store, like at Coldwater, at my store, are not people that I don't like to deal with, but it's awesome to get that different perspective because we both run really good shops, stores, whatever, but it's good to see how someone else does it.
Right. You probably get a lot of the phone calls back there like, yep, that worked. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, usually I played the no news is good news because a lot of times you get a phone call like this spring and you go, oh, wait, well, try these things. And they go, okay, they're just in a hurry. And then you never hear back from them. So you check it back at the end of the day. They go, oh, yeah, that worked. I just didn't call you back. I go, thank goodness. Yeah. It's a relief. So any final thoughts?
Just keep it up, guys.
Yeah.
Counting on you.
Sounds like you guys have been doing an excellent job.
We're trying.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Trying. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds good. We'll catch you guys on the next one.